Hey, good morning, everyone. Monday the 13th of July, 2020. Your humble messenger, ever flexible, always fluid, is a little wet. Yes, I tried to run my dogs early to beat the rain, and I didn't accomplish my mission. A little wet on the wall today, 69 degrees. Yet those raindrops were still cold, like little needles hitting you. Yeah, I'll dry out. Don't worry about it. So tomorrow, I'd go to church. Now, the word church is an English word translated from the Greek word ekklesia. It simply means group of called out beings. It has nothing to do with building and building worshipers. I live in a ex-501c3 church building, but I look at a courtroom very similar to a typical state 501c3 church event. And your humble, ever-flexible, fluid messenger is going to argue his constitutional rights granted under the Bill of Rights. Remember, people, it's called the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Safeties. Now, Big Daddy government, I don't need you to keep me safe. You're doing a good job of making my life a living hell. When it comes to safety, you're shitty at it. Okay, so let's look at the average courtroom. You have a judge, male or female, that has to wear a black robe. Why is that? And they sit at the bench, the altar, and an altar is a place of sacrifice. Why do your state churches still have an altar? Was not your Jesus the ultimate sacrifice? You're going to re-crucify him day in, day out, weekly? I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I got an altar area, but no altar in my ex-church building. So what I'm trying to say is, let's keep looking at it at a courtroom and compare it to the church. Compare it to the church system. So you got the black-robed judge at the bench, altar. Then you have the accuser. Yeah, the state's attorney, the prosecutor, the maybe false accuser. Remember the accuser in the book of Job? Job, however you want to say it? Yeah, Satan. I think we're into a little Masonic witchcraft here, people. And then if you are educated correctly and you have the funds, you hire your Jesus, which would be your defense attorney, your intercessor. He goes to bat for you. He makes your pleadings and issues his prayers before the bench/altar. It's a church experience, people. I've been to a lot of them. Yeah, I'm going to church. 10:30 in the morning, called the pre-trial conference. Trial July 29th. Starts at 9 a.m. for those of you who want to know. Alright, so we've got, in fact, people, if you ever seen a summary judgment or if you've read one that was issued against you, they make a prayer to the bench for relief. It's a religious experience, people. Some of the most religious people are the ones who least profess an interest in the Creator. I always said that. Atheists, they are the most religious people. Evolution, a religion. The priestcraft. Not everybody wears their colors on backwards. Their priests wear white lab coats. Okay, let's do a little, you know what else they say? If you play as your own lawyer, then you have a fool for a client. Well, I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to have to be the fool then, because I can't afford an attorney, nor am I entitled to a public defender, since this is a mere infraction, 5 counts, and jail is not an option. So, I'm going to have to wing it on my own. Alright, let's do a little Civics 101, another interesting court fact. A lot of people don't want you to know. You know, Civics 101, remember that? I think I had it in 9th grade. You have 3 branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. All 3 are equal, and normally, under normal conditions, all 3 jealously guard their respective powers enumerated to them in the Constitution. Now, you don't have the judiciary making legislation, and you don't have the executive entering court decisions and constitutional rulings. Yes, they do have administrative court judges in the executive branch, but those are for executive problems. Let's put it that way. Unemployment, workman's comp, things of that magnitude. Driver's license issues. Alright, now here's a weird little part. one of the branches, or one of the functions of the executive branch, who's headed up by the chief executive officer in the state of North Dakota, Governor Doug Gates, is they license. They license doctors, they license plumbers, they license real estate agents, they license bar and restaurants, they license drivers, hunters, fishermen, etc. There is an exception to their rule, though. They do not license lawyers. Now, lawyers are wink, wink, hint, hint, licensed through the Private American Bar Association, a private union, and given a judicial wink and a nod from the judiciary branch. How cool isn't that? Everybody else has to go through the executive. Why don't, Doug Gates, why don't you get a real license on them SOBs calling themselves lawyers? They should be licensed. You license banksters, why don't you license lawyers? All right. What else do you have in the courtroom? You have the Roman Guard. Yeah, the law enforcement. Yeah, the deputies, officers of the court. Now, why are you saying Roman Guard? Are you saying you're going to be Jesus tomorrow in the courtroom? No, heavens no. I'm saying the origins of our maritime admiralty civil law is Roman. Might say the common law came from England. We're not under the common law. We're under the UCC code. We're under a anti-constitutional bunch of bullshit. Like I said, I'm going to have to argue my Bill of Rights, not a Bill of Safety. Substantive rights violated by the Roman Guard. So, combination of tomorrow the 14th and the combination of 29th, they will have their day. But then, I will have my day. Because it's not over. Not far from not over. To you legal wizards out there in my subs, because I have some very educated subscribers, think something like Title 42, Section 19 through 1983. Look it up. LEOs, law enforcement officers, do have limited immunity. But when they violate substantive constitutional rights under the color of law, see them badges, people? Badges don't grant extra privileges. They must obey the same rules we all do. So I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know how it's going. I did not put a part 2C on this because you guys are thinking, oh God, is he going to go through the whole alphabet, part 2A through Z, before he gets around to part 3? No, part 3 is a little bit on hold right now. I got to do my homework for tomorrow, don't you know? But I'm going to leave you with just a couple of scriptural verses, people. Very important. We were talking about churches, the state 501c3 churches. Yeah, you know the ones. The fizzy factories every Sunday where the pious and the mighty and the righteous usually take up the first and second rows. Get nice and close. Usually the biggest assholes all week absolve themselves of their multitude of sins by sitting in the first row, donating them the most to the new building fund. Bunch of building worshipers. I don't care how you say it. All right, let's go to Matthew 7, verse 22 and 23. And in these verses, I'm going to show you the 11 words I most certainly never want to hear, and you most certainly should not either. When you keep this whole series of videos that I'm trying to expose the strong delusion. Keep this one in mind. Verse 22, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. Verse 23, Matthew 7, verse 23, people. The 11 words you never want to hear. And this is Jesus speaking, verse 23. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. All right, people. What day today? Lots of stuff to do. I got to get some stuff done. It's going to be a little wet day on the wall. Do we need more rain? I don't know. Making my grass grow. I got to mow grass as soon as it dries out. Till then, you guys have a good day. I'll keep you updated on what transpires in church tomorrow.